What is up, For Honor family? We are moving closer to the hero reveal. The new hero will be in our hands before we know it. I haven't done a new hero hype video since the release of Year 9 Season 2 title update 1, so if this is your first video of mine concerning the new hero, I suggest you check out the first 2 episodes first, then come back to this one to take in the full connecting of the dots. In this one, I'm primarily going to focus on what's happening during this season that's not only reinforced our thoughts that the next hero will be wielding a rapier, but it also gives us a taste of a little bit more. In previous videos, I've discussed how I believe the hero would have Spanish roots, and this image on the canyon map doesn't refute my case since it does mention their majesties, and Queen Isabella I did rule during a portion of the Renaissance period after her brother died. She ruled from 1474 into the 16th century. While she only ruled briefly into the 16th century, we do know that rapiers were used as the primary sidearm for Spanish grenadiers during the 16th and 17th century. This is just a loose connection to what I believe will be the hero's Spanish root, but that's a minor line I wanted to draw in this one. Since the last 2 videos, we received a bit more information in the form of lore that adds a bit more clarity on what we'll be receiving on July 24. It started off early once the season kicked off, as one of the family members pointed out as soon as the season launched that the new ranked duel effect appeared to be a rapier. I jumped in a match, and lo and behold, what do I see? It is indeed a rapier. How appropriate for the For Honor team to put a duel effect that just so happens to resemble the weapon that the perceived new hero would have, and to put it in ranked duels. Makes too much sense. Very clever, very clever. So to put it together, we have a rapier effect in ranked duel. During the Year 9 trailer, the hero's, dare I say, sharp silhouette displays. That's foreshadowing, everyone. It displays on a duel map, and we know there will be a link between the pirate Cohart and the new hero. Just to go into the effect a bit more, to tie in something I'm going to mention later, look at the name of the effect. It's called the Tide Master. Why would they call this effect a Tide Master? It could be ambiguous, and it means multiple things, but of course, there's a correlation, and we'll get into it in a bit. So some of the link between Cohart and the new hero has been alluded to in game. And I also feel the new hero may have already faced off against Cohart according to his story. So check this out, y'all. In part 1 of Coharts Story, he says he'd never crossed paths with Shu Wei directly, but knew she swore allegiance to Bu Yin's company of pirates. And yes, you are hearing me say she. And while that may seem like a female hero would break a pattern, it really doesn't. And it will make sense for the rapier hero, and I'll touch on that later. But continuing on, in part 2 of Coharts Story, him and his merry band of pirates attacked Shu Wei's ship. Shu Wei ran away from the fight. It reads, until finally he saw Shu Wei, a roll of parchment in her hand. She was running away. Her dwindling pirates were fighting a losing battle, and she opted to save herself from Cohart and the onslaught of his men. No honor among pirates. While this story reads as cowardly towards Shu Wei, it's not what you think, because in part 3, Shu Wei explains why she ran away. It's also why you can't believe everything in this story, the way it is written. Cohart starts the back and forth by saying, "There be no point in running, lass," he boasted. "Ye can't escape me." "I am not trying to escape," Shu Wei said. "I simply wanted to face you without any distraction." Cohart laughed. From deep inside his belly, "A challenge?" he asked. "Yes," she answered. "A duel." I think that's a hint right there, y'all. She runs from a team fight, knowing her strength is in duels. And then the next part of the story goes into the battle. So listen to this. There's something about this, y'all. "Aye, a duel," he said, suddenly serious. Other than bad luck, Cohart didn't believe in much. But he did believe in the duelist code. A challenge had to be met. So be it. The code was clear. Respected among pirates, an armed opponent, no outside help, no pistols, a fair fight. He unsheathed his swords, the sharp blade catching the moonlight. Let our fates be decided then. They rushed towards one another, each yelling out in the night, and their blades met. It was in these moments that he felt in control, master of his own fate, every movement his own, every parry, every hit, a fortune of his own making. Now, did you notice they only mentioned Cohart's weapon? They did not even want us thinking of Shu Wei's weapon. They just said their blades met, but they stayed descriptive on it being Cohart who unsheathed his sword. I think this was done on purpose. In the end, Cohart did not abide by the duelist code, as he put a bullet into Shu Wei and left her for dead. Even in the writing it says, the X was marked, a canyon in Heathmoor. He had his destination. He headed back to the Lone Crow, leaving the dead Shu Wei on the beach. In a few hours, the rising tide would claim her, and he would be long gone. Rising Tide, huh? Doesn't that make you think about the name of that Year 9 Season 2 ranked effect? It's called the Tide Master. This is another clue to me that Shu Wei, the woman Cohart battled, is the new hero. And most importantly, she's not dead. If you still want to believe in the narration portion, just think about how this story came across earlier. How they initially said Shu Wei was running from the fight. Technically true, but she had her motives, her side of things, that the narration didn't cover, and now it ends saying she's dead. And you don't have an opportunity to hear her side since Cohart made his move toward the treasure. You can't take all of it as true. You remember the foreshadowing I did earlier saying sharp silhouette? Well, take a look at the Daily Order lore titled A Sharp Silhouette. In it, it says, as waves crashed against rocks and wooden decks croaked, a silhouette stood in the front of the low sun. Most were unfamiliar with the woman standing on the shore, but the captain's face told a different story. To me, this is clearly going back to Shu Wei. I think it's her he sees on the shore, and his face probably looks like he saw a ghost. I want to focus on one other piece of Daily Order lore, and that's from the captain's journal, which I believe time-wise came before he saw the woman on the shore. In journal number 3, he says, I hope our paths cross again, I reckon, but when that fateful day be upon us, I hope ye know that only one outcome there be. One of us shall die. Now, I didn't focus on the gender of the hero in the previous new hero hype videos, but the new season has made it clear that the new Outlander hero will be a female. We had a good idea it would be a Rapier hero a while ago, but now we can feel comfortable that the gender is female based on the dots connecting. It also looks like we will get a male Wielding hero for Year 9 Season 4 based on For Honor's pattern since Year 4 Season 1 of 1 male and 1 female hero a year. If you're unfamiliar with that pattern, it started with Warmonger, then Griffin in Year 4, Kyoshin and Pirate in Year 5, Mejai and Afira in Year 6, Ocelot and Varangian Guard in Year 7, Sohei and Hatun in Year 8, and now we will go Shu Wei, or whatever her name is, and a male hero in Year 9. There's a few things I want to touch on when thinking about Shu Wei. Maybe that was the name Bu Yin gave her, and in a sense, maybe that is who died on the shore that night. Since that time, she could be going by a new name, or even her original name before Bu Yin. I believe concealing her name in the Coharts Story is a way of concealing her origin, which indeed could trace back to her Spanish roots. I read that women in Renaissance Spain and Italy participated in dueling and fencing. It said noble women were sometimes trained in the art of rapier combat and fencing. Schools opened their doors to women who wished to learn this elegant but deadly form of fighting. The rapier's lightweight and focus on technique over brute strength made it a popular choice among women. Even if you just focus on that last sentence, it adds more validity, and it makes sense that they would add a female hero for this season using a lighter weapon than the heavier Kiang or Lu Bu halberd style weapon we are expecting the Wielding hero to have. So until we have a teaser trailer of some sort or anything of that nature, I think we're in a solid place of knowing what the hero will wield, a rapier, what gender the hero is, a female, and the hero's potential origin. I'm still saying Spain, but regardless of your disagreement in origin, we're locked in on this hero. But what do you think? Do you think Cohart faced the new hero in this story? Do you think Shu Wei will be her name? Or was that just given by Bu Yin when she aligned with her? Or maybe she has another name. Are you excited to see what gimmick they will give her, given she should be stronger in duels? I hope it's better than Nucius. That tier 1 is just not enough. She'll be here before we know it. I appreciate you, family, for tuning in. There are so many videos, and you took the time out of your day to tune into this one today. I will always be appreciative of that. Till next time, y'all. Peace.